They're slightly different. Here, part 2 of this video. Part 1 is on the other day, but part 2 is today. This year. I don't know. All right. Solving by substitution. Okay. Come test time, here's what has to happen when you see solve by substitution. Your brain's got to go like this. So go up to the first page of your note, and when you see substitution there, here's a little Mr. Todd's help here going, when we're solving for substitution, we better see somewhere, we better see y equals, or we better see x equals. One of those. That's got to happen for substitution. We need x equals or y equals. It actually doesn't matter which one. You can do y equals, you can do x equals. Okay? So that's key. Because this chapter is quick, folks. Like we're going to learn solving by substitution. Then we're going to do elimination. We're going to do a word problem day. Don't let that scare you. Word problem day, I actually give you the equations. And then we're done the chapter. So it goes pretty quick here. There's not going to be a bunch of time to catch up. We've got to get this nailed down. And this is one of the things we're going to talk about, is if we can make it y equals or x equals, then substitution will work. So now we need somebody clever to look at these two mess of equations and look at those and say one of them could be made into y equals or into x equals with a minimum of effort. It won't take much effort to do it. This we got to get good at. This we got to get good at. We got to recognize when we want to choose the first equation or when we want to choose the second equation. Joseph, you got to do two things. You got to tell us which equation, and then I'll agree or disagree. And then you got to tell us why, because everybody needs to know why. Which equation you like?
X. For this one, it would be x equals y plus.
Wait. Just tell me which equation, the first one or the second one?
Oh, first one.
The first one could be done. And I sense that Joseph's algebra skills are strong enough and his fraction skills are strong enough that he doesn't care which one he chooses. But there's an easier one. The second equation is the easier one to choose. If you're not sure why, then you got to pay attention here. Y is the second one, the easier choice. That's already just a y. If you don't choose that one, you're going to get into fraction trouble. And if you don't want fraction trouble, that's what you got to look for is go, this one doesn't have a coefficient. You'll see how come in just a second. You'll see how come. So I'm going to label these numbers 1 and 2. This is for substitution elimination. You see people labeling these all the time with these little numbers in circles. We're going to need that tomorrow for sure. So put a little 1 and 2. And then what I'm going to write is rearrange 2. Do you have to write that when you do it? No. But you should at least write the 2 in a circle so people know which equation you're working on. I'm working on equation 2, and I want to get it to y equals. That's what I really want to accomplish. Y equals. Now, the y is on the left side, but what's also on the left side that has to move? The x term has to move. So when I move it over, it's positive 4x over here, or it's adding 4x over here. What happens when it moves over? It becomes negative or subtract. Woo, that's phase 1. And here's what's different about this lesson than the last lesson. I'm not going to solve for y equals in the second one. I'm not going to do it. Yeah, that was the whole key to the last one. If we can get them both to y equals, we do it. If we can only get one, I've got a move. Watch this. Here's what I'm going to write. Sub y equals 7 minus 4x, that whole thing I just made, into equation 1. What? What? You're going to sub the whole thing into equation 1? Yeah, watch. Yeah, you can sleep the rest of the day if you want. No, you can't. But if you're only going to stay awake for one sentence, this is it. Watch carefully as I write equation 1 slowly. Yes? I'm going to write equation 1 very slowly. And I'm going to miss something. You catch what I miss. Ready? Here comes equation 1. 3. Are we okay so far?
No.
You're unimpressed. Equation 1 has a 3 there. Do you see it? It's got an x. Then it's got subtract. Then it's got a 2. Then it says equals 8. You can be upset. I tried to make you upset on purpose. Hopefully someone's going to raise their hand and go, you missed something. Get ready. You're going to tell me what I missed? I'm going to change colors. Okay, just get ready. I'm going to change colors. Catherine, what did I miss? I missed the y on purpose. I said, I'm not going to write down y. I'm going to write down what I found y equals. See, y isn't y anymore. Y is 7 minus 4x. Oh, that's an awesome algebra trick. You can be upset about the negatives and the brackets and everything like that, but what has happened? Tell me about that equation. What variables does that equation have in it? Only x. I've made my life a lot simpler. And no fractions. Those of you who did some of these that had fractions, and you're like, if I try to solve this other one for y, I'm going to get fractions. This has no fractions in it whatsoever, which is beautiful if you hate fractions. It has caused another problem, though. It's got a bracket in it. Oops, I randomly got this thing on the page. Hang on. Do I know how to get rid of it? No. Apparently, I don't know how to get rid of it. Here, there. There. Now it's gone. It's got brackets. We talked about this, but I don't know if we spent enough time on it. BEDMAS, yes. Yeah, we'd use BEDMAS if I could do anything with the 7 and the 4x, but I can't. I got to do something with this -2 and what's in the brackets. Oh, man. This is going back to like September the 12th. We talked about it. What does the -2 do to everything in the brackets? Cam, what does it do? He's making a little hand motion here, folks, with his hand. Multiplies everything in the bracket. So you made a trade here. You traded fractions for what's called distribution. That number's got to multiply by each. And I'm telling you, that's the worst part. If we nail that, the rest is nice. Okay? So 3x, -2 times 7 is -14. And -2 times -4x, negative times a negative, is positive 8x. And then I'm going to put my smiley face. The smiley face is there to go, okay, if we make it that far, the rest isn't too bad. Yeah, if we make it that far. So if you can only get one of the equations y equals, just do it. You don't have to make them both y equals, which might seem like I lied to you the other day. The other day it seemed like, got to get them both y equals. No, don't have to. As long as you can get one y equals or x equals, you're home free. Okay, what do you see? Someone's got to have this. How can I simplify what's on the left there? I got 3x minus 14 plus 8x. -14 is going to go to the other side. You could do it now. I'm not going to do it now. I'm just going to say, what about 3x and 8x? They're like terms. What's 3 plus 8? So I get 11x. But then I'm going to do what you said, which you could have done first, is you could move that and make it add 14. And what's 8 plus 14? Can you do 8 plus 4? 22, but you can use your calculator. What if we wanted to do 8 plus 14 in our head? I would do, what's 14 plus 6? What's 14 plus 6? That's 20, and then 2 more. So now finally, what's the opposite of multiplying by 11? Divide by 11, and the answer comes out nice. X equals 2. But that is not all. Oh no, that is not all, said the cat. He's making a hand motion. What now? What do I do with the x? Yeah, I like this arrow. If you're having trouble with some of these steps, take this x equals 2 and sub it into, ooh, no good choice here. No good choice there. If I put it in here, it's going to make a mess. In there, it's going to make a mess. Oh, wait a minute. There's a good one. So look around. There might be a good one to sub into. That's a pretty nice one to sub into. I like how I've drawn that arrow. I'm really happy with that. I'm like, oh, I'm going to check those first two, and I'm like, eee. Those are a little nasty, but this one's nice. My rearranged one's very nice. Because all I got to do is sub that in, and I'll write the fancy term words here. You don't have to write them. Sub x equals 2 into y equals 7 minus 4x. I'm going to do, oh, I said 4 and wrote 7. Silly Mr. Todd. I'm going to do what I did in the last one. If you're still having trouble with substitution, watch, here's substitution in a nutshell. I'm going to rewrite that equation. Y equals 7 minus 4. What did I forget? The x, but I'm not going to write in x. I know what x is. It's 2. And 4 times 2. What's 4 times 2? 8. And then 7 minus 8. I know there's some questions that are tough with negatives, so maybe this is one we can handle. Negative 1. And then, so, answer. Our point of intersection. And I know some places writes POI as a shortcut, which is fine. 2 and negative 1. Woo! Ooh, 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 ooh. Yeah. You keep copying. Rohan has a question. Yeah, there's different steps.
I did this one first.
Yeah, you could do it that way too. Totally fine. Totally works out. Yeah, good stuff. But keep in mind the methods I'm showing too, because certain questions might be better with your method, one might be better with mine. So I'm trying to show some different ways to handle it to give people some freedom. But good question. Okay. You have questions? Do you need more time? Okay. We only have one more to go. It's a pretty light Monday because of what happened to us on Friday. We got derailed there. So a pretty light day overall. Who said they need more time? You still need more time? Yeah? Yeah, that's good. Got this weird habit of carrying the microphone around all of a sudden. Gentlemen, put the phones away while I'm teaching. Like away. Like gone. Like out of sight. No, away. Put them away. If you can't handle it, sitting on the desk. If it's too much temptation, then put it away. Same thing I got to do with the donuts at the Todd house. They cannot sit on the counter, or I will eat them. In the cupboard. Give me a chance. Or the spicy Doritos. Oh, they're good. Have you had the spicy Doritos? Oh. So good. Did I give you enough time with my silly story? And I frowned at the people that were sneaking their phones out? Maybe I should say your name on the video, so if your parents watch the video, they know it was you. Bobby was playing with his phone. We don't have a Bobby. Just me. I'm the only Bobby. It's Robert, actually. And usually people call me Rob, but once in a while, some dummy thinks it's okay to call me Bobby. If you do your homework, you can call me Bob. Is that a good deal?
Hello, Bob.
Serious. Taking advantage right now. All right, let's do the whole lesson again. All right, you ready? Starts here. Solving by substitution. We want either y equals or x equals. One of these two equations is not bad to solve for y equals or x equals. One is not so good. I take it back. One is really good. Which one is like really good? It's already x equals. So I'm going to put 1. I'm going to number these 1 and 2. But this one already gets a smiley face because I'm like, yeah, x equals. Now watch this, Catherine. You're in charge of catching what I missed again, all right? You ready? Sub. Oh, maybe we'll change the dinner plans for tonight, will we? Forget what Mrs. Todd had planned for us, but maybe we'll have subs instead. Sub x equals 4y minus 5 into equation 1. Now listen, I'm not just being silly. I'm trying to be silly, to be interesting, but this will help to think this way. I'm going to write equation 1. I'm going to write lots of it, but I'm going to miss something, okay? You're in charge of catching what I missed. Ready, Kathy? You got it? 3y plus 2 equals 12. This is the whole deal of substitution right here. The whole deal of substitution, I'm going to purposely miss something. What did I miss, Catherine? I missed the x, but I'm not going to write x. Good. 4y minus 5. Don't underestimate how tough algebra that is. That's a big idea in algebra, is substituting in not just a number, but a mess of stuff. In this case, 4y minus 5. And I've traded in fractions, folks. If you don't like fractions, I've done this so we can avoid fractions. But I had to make a deal. No fractions, but I do have this bracket problem. What does the 2 do that's in front of the brackets? I thought you answered, sorry. She's making the hand motion. She may not have the words, and it doesn't matter. You don't need the words. Teacher needs the words. I got to use the fancy words. You just have to go, oh, yeah. They both get multiplied by the 2. The 2 distributes is the fancy word that you need if you wanted to talk about this. So what's 2 times 4? 8. And 2 times negative 5? Negative 10. We write subtract 10. Those two things are mostly interchangeable. Negative 10 can be thought of as subtract 10. Off the record, by the way, some people really like this algebra. Even people who don't usually like algebra, they like the pattern of it. They like the recipe-ness of it. Sort of like making pancakes, you know? You just do this, then you do this, and then you do this. Get out the maple syrup, and you have your pancakes. You do the same things every time with different numbers. What can combine here? 3y plus 8y. 3 yams plus 8 yams. Does anyone even know what a yam is? What else starts with y? Yaks. I look at my backyard, and there's 3 yaks, and you bring over 8 yaks. 3 yogurts plus, there's 3 yogurts in the fridge. Mom brings home 8 more yogurts. Now you got 11 yogurts. They're not actually yogurts. They're unknowns, but it's good to think about. The subtract 10's got to move over. What's the opposite of subtracting 10? Plus 10. Listen, if this is starting to weave its way into your brain even though you didn't want it to, you wanted to hate this algebra, but it's starting to get in there like, I'm starting to get this. That's the way this course works. We did some algebra chapter 1. Now we're doing some algebra chapter 2. And some people start to go, oh, I got it. Well, this played out sort of like the other one. The numbers are similar. Opposite of multiplying by 11? Divide by 11, and I get y equals 2. But that is not all. Oh, no, that is not all, said the cat in the hat as he jumped on the ball. What do I do now? Yeah, you get to do the little arrow. Up here. Now watch me go. I could go for the first one, or I could go for the second one. So take a look to make your life as easy as possible. Usually there's one equation that's much easier than the other ones. So I go sub y equals 2 into x equals 4y minus 5. Here's subbing again. One more time I'm going to take a shot at this to try to help you with what subbing's about. X equals 4 minus 5. What did I miss? And I missed it on purpose.
Like replacing the x with 2.
Yeah, replacing the, I forget, I didn't hear what you said. Did you say x? Yeah, I'm putting 2 in there, but I'm replacing the y. And then your calculator does the rest for you. 8 minus 5x equals 3. Therefore, I'll do the shortcut here to give you permission. POI for point of intersection. 3, 2. But I pause for questions because I'm just like that. Fair warning. If you don't get this algebra, or if you don't practice it, it's only getting worse tomorrow, folks. And then, I tell you, I got other words for you. It's only going to get worse next chapter. Not a whole lot worse, but if you can't keep up here, things are going to go nuts on you. If you're going to activate in this course and get in this, now's the time. Do you need more time there? Well, you can have more time there.